everyone, you're welcome back to my channel. My name is Yinka. So in today's class I'm going to be showing you how to make this beautiful trending reversible bubu jumpsuit. So let's get into it. For this tutorial you'll be needing 8 yards of fabric. 8 yards, yes, because basically you're going to be using one to line the other. I have 2 fabric here, so this black one is 4 yards and this other one also is 4 yards. So 4 yards in 2 places. All right, that is how much you'll be needing because it's reversible. So one is going to be lining for the other one. So let's get started. First, you fold the first one into 4 because we're going to be cutting the back and the front together. So at first you fold it into 2. You can see first fold it into 2, then after that you fold it into 4. So my fabric is folded into 4. You can decide to cut on this one alone first and then you use it to cut out this one, but I'm just going to be folding this black one also into 4 so that I can just cut everything at once. So I'll be folding this black also into 4 and I'll place it directly on top of this one. This black and white one is folded into 4 and this black also is folded into 4. One is the main dress and the other is going to be the lining because we need one to line the other. It's not as if I'm using lining, don't mix it together. This is not lining, this is fabric. This is also fabric. So I'll rule my guideline so that I can have a starting point for my pattern. This is my guideline. From this part, you measure your hip circumference measurement divided by 10. It's on fold now, but being on fold does not mean anything. But from this edge here, you measure your hip circumference measurement divided by 10. I'm working with hip 42 divided by 10. That will give me 4.2. But I can just measure 4.5 all the way down so that I can still have small thing to walk around with when I'm ready to use it. All right. So I'll measure 4.5, and I'll rule it straight down. So for it to be straight, you can just measure the 4.5 at interval all the way down and then you rule it. The next thing we are going to be doing now is to input our length measurement. So from the guideline here, I'm going to measure down my waist length, my hip line, and also my crotch depth, then the length of my gown. My waist length is 17, so from the guideline I'm going to measure 17. Then I will measure the hip line. Standard hip line is 24, but you can just use your own measurement. And then the length of your jumpsuit. So my length is 60 inches, so I'll measure 60 inches. Then with my allowance, with my seam allowance, all right? So from the guideline, you measure your waist length, your hip line, and also the length of your jumpsuit. Then you can extend the lines. Next line you're going to be introducing here is your crotch depth. Your crotch depth is your hip circumference measurements divided by 4. Your hip circumference measurements divided by 4. But because this is a jumpsuit, whatever your hip circumference measurement divided by 4 gives you, you're going to be adding 3 inches to that because it's a jumpsuit. I didn't mean you are doing a trouser. Your crotch depth is just your hip circumference measurement divided by 4. But because this is a jumpsuit, so your hip circumference measurement divided by 4 plus 3 inches. So my hip circumference is 42. 42 divided by 4, that will give me 10.5. But because it's a jumpsuit, I will add 3 inches to that 10.5 and that will give me 13.5. So from your waist length, you measure that 13.5. That will give you your crotch depth. Hope it's clear. From your waistline, you measure the crotch depth. You measure your crotch depth from your waistline. So this is my waistline here. I'm going to measure my crotch depth from this line downward. From my waistline, I'll measure down 13.5. That will give me my crotch depth. And I'm just going to extend it. my guideline, this is my waist length, this is the hip line, and this is the crotch depth. So on the crotch depth line, you are going to measure your hip circumference divided by 20. Starting from this line, this will give you your crotch extension. So from this line, measure this way, measure it outward this way. My hip circumference is 42 divided by 20. That will give me 2.25, and I'll note that point. That is going to give me my front crotch extension. I'm going to be using my French cuff to connect it back to this line, like you're making a armhole. That's just it. So place your French cuff like this, and then you draw out the shape. So this is my front crotch extension. From here to here is your hip circumference measurement divided by 20. My own is 42 divided by 20. That is 2.25. You can see it, 2.25. Can you see? 2.25. That is your front crotch extension. Then you place your French cuff this way, and then you connect it back to that line. Your French cuff touching this line and also touching this line, you draw your front crotch extension this way. All right, so I'll be doing that. All right, so the next thing you want to do, from this point, from this line here, you measure your hip circumference measurement divided by 4. So my hip circumference measurement is 42 divided by 4. That will be 10.5. I'll measure it like this. So you measure it, your hip circumference measurement, starting from this line. Measure your hip circumference measurement divided by 4, and then you measure it this way. So once you locate that point, you will now measure from this your hip circumference measurement to your front crotch extension. You locate the midpoint. Then you rule that line straight down. Don't get confused, it's easy. So from this point here, I'll measure to my crotch extension here, and I'll locate the midpoint. So locate the midpoint. So this is the midway. This is the midway. You rule it straight down to the hem of your jumpsuit. Rule it straight down. Hope it's clear. So the next thing you want to do now, from the hem of your jumpsuit, you measure it to this crotch line, and then you also get the midpoint. This is the midway here. So at this line, you are going to be inputting your knee circumference measurement. Your knee circumference measurement. All right. So my knee circumference measurement is 18 inches. So 18 divided by 4, that will give me 4.5. So I'll measure 4.5 towards this side and also towards this side. So 4.5 here, and then another 4.5. Hope it's clear. Then you rule it straight down, and then you rule it straight down also. You rule it straight down. Rule it straight down. Can you see? So from this crotch extension, with a slight cuff, you connect it back to this point, or you can just use your pant cuff. So just place your pant cuff and connect it this way. So you connect it this way, all the way to this point. But if you don't have pant cuff, just from the crotch extension, you connect it to the knee. So from this point here, from this knee, just square it to the wing here. Then we move forward to the back crotch extension. To the back crotch extension, for your back crotch extension, you divide your hip circumference measurement by 10. My hip circumference measurement is 42. Divided by 10, that will give me 4.2. On the crotch line, this is the crotch line, and then from this your line that you already wrote here, you measure the 4.5 outward this way. So this is the back crotch extension. blend this with a cuff back to this line. All right, you can put your French cuff to do that, or you can just use your hand and get it. Can you see? Like this. So I'm going to draw it very well so that I can show you. So can you see? This is the back crotch extension. Can you see? This is for the back. So the next thing is for you to place your pant cuff again, and then you connect this line all the way down. Back crotch extension, and then this is the back, like this all the way. So when we are cutting, we'll first cut on the back, then we'll remove the back, and then we'll now retrace the front crotch. All right, so this is what we have so far. So the next thing you want to measure now, from this guideline, you're going to measure your desired sleeve length. It's bubu. You already know how we measure desired sleeve length for bubu. All right, so I'm going to be using everything that I have here. I have 26 inches, exactly 26 inches from here to here. I have exactly 26 inches. So I'll just square it all the way down to that point. Next thing now is to get your shoulder drop. So from this point here, you measure 3 inches. Measure 3 inches. Then at this point you measure 2 inches. You measure 2 inches, and then you're going to connect it together. Then you add back your ½ inch seam allowance. I'm going to be making my neck width to be 3½ inches because we are going to be joining the center front. So whatever your neck width is, just add ½ inch to it because you're going to be joining the center front. It's going to have joining in center front, and also there will be zip at the back. All right. I want my neck width to be 3½. So I'm going to add ½ inch to that. That will be 4 because it's going to be having joining, like I said. So you measure the 4. Then for the back neck depth, I'm going to be doing 2 inches. I'm going to be doing 2 inches. So I'll connect it together this. So for the front neck width, I'm going to be doing a V neck. So I'm going to be measuring 7½. Use my ruler to connect it to the neck width. This, can you see? We are done. The next thing now is just for us to cut this out now. So I'll first cut on the back neck line. So I'll cut it this way. So from the knee, you cut it like this. All right, so this is what we have. So the next thing you want to do now, you need to notch your waistline. Notch your waistline, and then you measure 1½ upward from that point also, and then you notch it. That is going to be the opening for the rope that is going to be in front. So that is it. So the next wing also, you also notch your waistline. You notch it. So you notch it. So we are done cutting. So we are going to remove the back now, and then you are going to reshape the front. So at this stage you need to be careful. So the first two that is black will be your front. So remove it. The last two for the back, and also this one. So you take 2 black and then 2 pattern, and you take it off. That will be for the back. And then this other one also is 2. I've placed it back on top of it so that I can reshape the front neckline and also the front crotch extension. Cut off the front neckline. The front neckline. Also, you cut the front crotch extension. done cutting. So this is the front. So we have 2 pieces for the black and also 2 pieces for the pattern. We have 2 pieces each. So the next thing you want to do now is for you to take to the sewing machine. You join the center front till you get to that point that you have your notching, and then you skip the notching and then you join all the way to the crotch extension in front. So I'll show you how to sew it now. So this is it. You can see the way it is. This is the front. You can see the crotch extension. So you take to the sewing machine, match the 2 of them together, right side to right side. You join from the neckline with 1/2 inch allowance till you get to that notch that you have on the waistline. You skip the notching and then you go ahead and join it all the way to the crotch extension. I cut out what I'll be using for the rope in front. The width of this is 2.5 inches, and this is how long it is. We finish sewing it, we cut out the excess, but the width is what is important. The width is 2.5. And then for the rope that we are going to be inserting inside, that should be twice your waist circumference. So it's still 2.5. The width is 2.5. So for the wing, there will be belts by the 2 wings, just the way we notched it. All right, so for that, I'm going to be cutting out 2. The width of this one is 5 inches. The width of this is 5 inches. It's 5 inches. The length is 29 inches. 29 inches, and we have 2 of that. This is the front. So from the neckline, I'm going to join with 1/2 inch. When I get to where I have my notch, I'll backstitch like this, and then I'll skip that 1.5 inch, and then I'll continue sewing, backstitch and continue sewing all the way to the end. Can you see like this? Can you see that 1.5 opening? So just open it like this, then you open that your seam allowance at that point, then you top stitch. Can you see the opening? So you do the same thing to the second side of the front. Still working with the front. Place them on top of each other, right side to right side. You join together at the neckline. Join together at the neckline and also at the waist. I'll join them together at the neckline. So you will not join them together on the shoulder. You skip the shoulder. You come to the wings. You join them together at the wings all the way to. So let me quickly join my belt. Before I proceed, you know, I already have notching on at that point that I want the belt to be. I have notching there, so I'll just place the belt on down my notched part at the wing. This is the wing, so I'll place the belt and then I'll stitch on it. You skip the shoulder and then you're going to join the wings together. When you're sewing, you push the belt inside, let the belt be inside, and then you stitch the wing together with 1/2 inch allowance. So when you get to the end of the wing, You keep your needle in, you rotate your fabric so that you can join the wing also together at the bottom part. So I'm done with one side. So you also do the same thing to the second side of the wing. So this is it. I've joined it together at the neck line, and also we've joined the wings together. Can you see? All the way to the end and then to this point. Can you see? We've joined the wing together all the way to this point here. To this point. So what you need to do now is to turn it to the right side, and then the front is ready so that we work with the back. You can notch so that the corners can come out sharp. So this is the back. Can you see? So if you notice, we have notching on our waistline. So from your waistline, measure 9 inches downward, and from that 9 inches point, you join it together all the way to the crotch extension. So place them on top of each other like this. From my waistline, I will measure 9 inches downward. Measure 9 inches downward. So from this 9 inches, I will join with ½ inch all the way to this crotch area. And I also do the same thing to this one. This is what I will even use as the main body. So I'll do the same thing to this one. So if you like now, if you want it fitted, you can reshape the waistline so that you enter in by ½ inch on the waistline, so that you blend this so that your zip will not be bulgy. But because this is just a free dress, it's a free dress, we're going to be having rope in front. I don't want to do that. So I've joined this one. I'll also join the second one. Alright, so when you're done joining, the next thing now is to fix your zip. So when you decide the one you want to use for the main body, so I think I would like this one to be the outer part of my jumpsuit. So I'll fix my zip here. So just fit your zip. Place the right side of your zip on the right side of this, and then you fix your zip. So I'm done fixing my zipper. You can see I've fixed my zipper. So the next thing you want to do now is to use the black one to turn it on the neckline. So place it top of each other, right side to right side. So match them together at the neckline. So you open your zipper. Open your zipper, match them together right side to right side. Use it to turn on the neckline and also at the zipper side all the way to the end of the zipper. Can you see? So we are done with one side. You also do the same thing to the second side. Place the second side of the black on top of it, right side to right side. Right side to right side. You join together at the neckline and also at the zipper side. Alright, so we are done with the zipper, so you can notch the neckline. So the next thing now is the wings. Don't forget, you're not going to join the shoulders. So the next place to join is the wings. Alright, so we are going to be joining the front and the back together now. And this is how you're going to do that. This is the front. So turn it to the wrong side. Turn the front to the wrong side. This is it. This is the back. The back is on the right side. You can see it's on the good side. Can you see? This is the back. And we have turned it to the good side. It's only the front that you turn to the wrong side. So you take the back, place it on top of it. You can see the shoulder part. This is the shoulder part. You are going to be inserting it inside the front like this. You insert it inside the front, and then you are going to match them together at the shoulder like this, and then you will pin. You pin it in. Make sure you align it properly at the shoulder, and you pin. So can you see I've pinned it now? So you take to the sewing machine and you join it together. Also at the second side you do the same thing. Alright, so you turn it to the right side now. You can see we have nicely finished the shoulder. See the shoulder from the wrong side. This is the shoulder. You can see that our joining is not showing from the wrong side. You can see how it is. Very neat. So the next thing you need to do is to finish the crotch area. So you turn the fabric. Let the right side of the back be facing the right side of the front. Place them on top of each other like that. So you are going to be joining this part together. This leg part. You are going to be joining it together. You are going to be joining it together all the way down. And also the crotch area. And also the crotch area. You are going to be joining it together. Join the crotch area together all the way down. And also the second part of the leg. So for it to be equal and for it to be very nice, you need to pin so that every line can fall in place. Alright, so we've joined the inseam. I've joined the inseam. The only place that is remaining is this side here, this side of the leg. That's the only part that is remaining. But before you do that, I would suggest you just hem the bottom part first. Just hem the bottom part. So it's now. Fold like this, and then you fold again, and then you make your stitch. Alright, so we are done hemming the lower part. Now is to sew this place close. You sew this place close. So this is it. You turn it to the right side now. Can you see the way it is? Now it's for us to put our measurement so that we can close it just the way we normally close the side of bubu. That's how you're going to be closing it. We are going to be inputting our measurements now. That's the last step, so that we can close the side just the way we normally close our bubu. So that's from the shoulder. I'll measure 13 inches downward. I'll measure 13 inches downward, and then I'll measure my waistline, which is 17, and also the hip line. Then you are going to be putting your measurement starting from the zip here. So at that 13 inches point, I'm going to measure my hip circumference measurement divided by 4 plus 1 inch is. It's a free dress. So but if you want it to be fitted like a fitted bubu, at this your nipple point, you're going to insert your bust circumference measurement divided by 4. It's having zipper, so you may not even need to put ease, but you can just add ½ inch ease. And on the waistline, you input your waist circumference measurement divided by 4 plus ease of ½ inch. The same thing goes for the hip line, but this one is just a free bubu. So I'm going to be shaping the side with just my hip measurement so that everything can be free. From this center, I'll measure my hip circumference measurement divided by 4. My hip is 42 divided by 4, that will be 10.5. With 1 inch ease, because it's a free stuff, with 1 inch ease. So here I will just measure 11.5. I'll measure 11.5, and the same thing on the waistline, and also at the hip line. Same thing, it's just a straight line. Is the rope in front that you use and gather it to your desired size. So you just rule it straight like that and connect it together. Can you see? And then slightly bring it to come and meet this point here. Connect it to your leg. Can you see? That's how you're going to do it. You also repeat this same thing that you have done here to this second side. Then you take to the sewing machine now, just sew on top of that line. Just the way we close bubu, exactly the same way. We are done closing the side. You can see we are done closing the side. So the next thing you want to do is to create that channel for the rope on the waistline. You create channel for the rope on the waistline. So you need to turn your fabric inside out. You can see the opening here, that opening that we created in front. Can you see it? So we are going to be creating channel here. So what you need to do is just to take your chalk, rule a straight line from here all the way like this to the back. So below the opening, you rule it, and above the opening. So you go to the sewing machine now. You are going to stitch. The width of this rope is 2.5 inches. So place it on top of the line, and then you are going to make your stitch all around like so. So I'll open my zipper. I'll place the rope on top of it like this. Can you see the way I've done it? So when you get to the side seam joining, you backstitch and stop. Then you rearrange your wing so that you don't come and stitch on the wing. So lift your foot up. Lift your foot. So you flip the wings to the back side. You know you already stitched on the back side now. Flip the wings to the back side, and then you continue stitching the rope. Please don't no stitch on your wing. So flip the wings out of the way. Place it back underneath the foot. Continue stitching to the front. So when you get back to the side seam joining again, backstitch. Take the fabric out of the foot. Flip the wing away. Flip the wing away so that you don't stitch on the wing, and then you continue stitching. So I'll cut the excess away. So this is what we have. Can you see? So the next thing is for you to flip it up like this, and then you are going to top stitch, fold the raw edges, fold the raw edge inside like this, fold 1/2 inch inward like this, and then you are going to now top stitch this all around again till you get back to the side. We are done creating our rope channel. So the next thing you're going to be doing now is to insert your rope. We are done creating the channel. Can you see? So this is the wrong side of our dress. Can you see? We have done the rope channel. You take your safety pin, you insert it on your rope, and then you are going to just pass the rope through this opening that you have here all around till you get back to this second side of the zipper. So what I'll do now, I'll take off my pin, then I'll readjust the rope. I will not allow it to escape inside. I'll just readjust the rope like this. Then I'll take to the sewing machine, I will stitch it down so that it will not escape inside the channel. I've stitched this side down. So I'll come to the center front and I'll locate down my opening. So from that opening, you drag out your rope. You drag the rope out, but be careful so that this other end will not escape. So from this opening now, drag out the rope. Can you see? Drag it out very well, but don't let it escape inside. So I've dragged it out. You can see my rope now. So push it in, and then you are going to stitch it down here also. And that's it. Your jumpsuit is ready. Please like, share, and comment. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.